footsteps are awaiting thee. Sounds of the rude world heard in the day, led by the moonlight, have all passed away. Beautiful dream, my queen of my song, list while I woo thee with soft melody. Gone are the cares of life's busy throng. Beautiful dreamer, awake unto me. Beautiful dreamer, awake unto me.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Evermore Paranormal Show. My name is Jim Sorrell, and your host of the show is Suzanne Sorrell. She has her sidekick, Cat, and we hope you enjoy the show.
Good evening, sweet spirits. Welcome to the show. We are back. This is our 4th episode out of 6, and we'll tell you some more about that in a bit. But if you've been watching, you'll know that this is a variety talk show. And we were planning to have live musical guests, and we will probably in the second half of the season. But Gina DeLuca was supposed to be here on April 9th, but she had to cancel. But we have a really cool replacement show that we're working on. It's something you don't want to miss. So that's April 9th. So if you've been watching, you know show is about the paranormal and mostly about ghosts. As I said, this is our 4th episode, and we originally were going to do 30-minute episodes, and it was 45 minutes, and now it's pretty much an hour show. So, as you know, if you've been watching, the studio is haunted. We've had experiences. The people that own the place have had experiences. So we've been hoping for some activity. The ghosts have not been cooperating much. But we were excited. Last week, there was a tap over at the Ghost Bro Bistro. One little tap, but we were so excited that we finally got something. I think they're warming up to us, and hopefully we'll start getting some more activity. We are really close to the Manassas National Battlefield Park, and there were 2 major battles there, and there were lots of casualties. So we're very close, just like Gettysburg, and there's just a lot, the battles and the casualties. We were thinking maybe we can get some of those spirits to come on over and hang out. So I'm not by myself. I'm Suzanne Sorrell, owner of Evermore Paranormal, and I'm the host. And I have my husband that just announced the show. He's also our ghost bro. He's sitting over in our little bistro area having a beer and just waiting for those ghosts to come out. I'm hoping they come out one night and just like grab him or something. It'd be really cool. And then I have my best friend, Kat, who we've been friends for like 13 years, which is rare these days to have a friend for that long. We get along so well. That she's my sidekick. Everywhere we go, we're always together. And she'll be throwing in some questions and comments here and there. So before we introduce the guest for tonight, I just want to shout out to the Stairway East studio. The people here at the studio, Mike, Pat, Lucille, and Jazz. Lucille's not here tonight, but I want to say hi, Lucille. We miss you. And also I want to shout out to Real Life Paranormal Group. They were here last week, and I'm pretty sure they're watching tonight. So hi, Brian, Donna, and Gail. So tonight we have 2 beautiful ladies. In addition to Kat, over there is a beautiful lady as well. They're live paranormal show hosts. I didn't say radio because I know you guys have expanded more, not just radio anymore. It's so many other things, which we'll talk about tonight. But we have, next to me is Nikki, Para Unnormal. And over here in the blonde is Jennifer Anderson. So thank you for coming, you guys.
Oh, thanks for asking us on.
Thank you.
I know it was a little bit of a commute from the Baltimore area, right? So Let's see. I have a list of questions. Just 1 second. So we're gonna. I just wanted to say the last time I saw you guys was almost a year ago at WouijaCon. What did you think about WouijaCon and what was going on at the time? You both live in the area, right? So
We had a good time. Unfortunately, it was also the beginning of the riots for the Freddie Gray case. I believe it was a Freddie Gray case. I believe that
Yeah.
was, yeah. So it started in the it was the start of the riots. So our big joke was is that WouijaCon stirred up the activity in the city.
I think so too, truthfully. I do too. I think all those Ouija boards that were there, and most of them, there was a traveling museum, and they weren't just new boards, they were used boards, and could have brought a lot of stuff with them. Yeah, I kind of think there's possibly some kind of relation there. But, I'm sure people that love the Ouija board's going to be mad at us, but oh well. So you guys are, I should say ladies, but I say guys, sorry about that. We'll start with questions about the radio, being radio show hosts. And basically, I know you as being radio show hosts for LiveParanormal.com, right?
Right.
LiveParanormal.com. So do either of you know how Live Paranormal got started, and how did you each get involved with Live Paranormal?
Rob had a paranormal experience, Rob the owner, had a paranormal experience in college. And he actually went and tried to find out more information. Kind of felt like he wasn't getting enough information, and he wanted to give a platform where people could ask questions. So not only having the website where people could interact and chat, but having the radio to tie it in where you could have guests and actually have a verbal discussion as well, and bring on some people to discuss their paranormal experience and things of that sort. So basically, it was because of his interest and his experience that Live Paranormal became what it is.
Do you know how long it's been since
About
you
10
started
years.
it? About 10 years, huh? Wow, and how did you get, so you have a show, you help, what are all you have your own show, and you also, I'm trying to figure that out when I'm looking at your
Me
website.
too.
How many shows do you have, Nikki? And then Jen, tell me about your show as well.
Actually, I do a show with Rob, the owner. It's called Paranormal Spotlight Radio, and that's Tuesdays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's the only show I'm actually doing right now. But I do produce quite a few shows on the network, and thinking about bringing a few shows back. If I can, work it into my schedule and
Right.
all that.
I doubt it with all the stuff we're talking about tonight. I doubt you have time. It's like once you leave the radio, then all these other things that you're doing,
Yeah.
I don't know how you're going to have time for all of that.
Me either. We'll figure it out.
So how about you, Jen? How did you get affiliated with Live Paranormal?
Rob, I actually met on social media, and then went from there and started going to his liveparanormal.com site, and then I started talking about when I got into the paranormal, it was really hard to find a team that would take you on when you were basically a novice, that you didn't know anything. Luckily, I did find a team, but then I kind of discussed with him to get a radio show where I could bring people on. And also, just discuss how people can get involved in the paranormal if they're interested, that they could reach out to some people. And so that's how I actually got my show started.
And what's the name of your show?
I'm sorry. It is
no, that's okay.
Everything Very Paranormal. It's on bi-weekly. My next show will be the 29th at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then every 2 weeks.
Well, I like how as you said before, EVP.
EVP,
Can't
easy
forget
to
that.
remember.
You can't forget that. So you guys have been doing shows for a while. About how many years have you been doing radio shows?
I think we started out, I started actually co-hosting for Wes on his show, and then I got my own show. So it's been probably almost 3 years now.
You too? About 3?
I guess I might be about. Did I start before?
You started about 6 months before me.
Okay, yeah. So I guess 3.5 years.
So
Seems
you
like lifetimes, though.
Oh,
you know.
yeah, I know what you mean. I know. So, do you have a favorite guest? I would ask if you have a least favorite guest, but I doubt you would answer that. But if you want to, it's okay. But do you dare say that you have a favorite guest and why?
That's
It
hard.
looks like they don't want.
That's
You know
like
what?
That's like picking a kid.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've had guests where I was really nervous because they were people that I really wanted to interview. So when they came on, I was like, God, I hope I don't mess this up. But I think my funniest guest, I'm not going to say he's my favorite, but I love Bruce Tango.
Oh yeah, he's funny.
And
He's
he's like my
hilarious.
buddy. So yeah, I have to say that
Oh,
he's like
shout
one
out
of
to
my
Bruce.
guys. Hey, Bruce.
Yeah, he's fun. I've been on some celebrity events with him, and makes everybody feel welcome. He's always got a joke, and he's always got some funny stories.
Yeah, he can tell funny stories. Yeah.
Is there, since you didn't want, shout out to Bruce. So, who, like, if I was doing, well, I'm not doing a show anymore, but if I was doing a radio show, I would like the psychics that come on, probably, always hoping for a free little, tidbit of
That would be
advice.
me.
He likes the psychic.
I love when I have psychics on. In fact, I'm always like, can we have a psychic on? Can we have a psychic on?
Yeah.
Because, I'll be honest, I love getting read. Sometimes on air, it's a little, like,
Oh, yeah.
don't tell
Like,
me
what are they gonna
everything,
tell you?
right? So, but, I love when I can relate. And, no matter what guest, it seems there's a point where I can relate at some point. I'll tell you who my least favorite guest is.
Oh,
gonna
are
go
you dare
for
going to go
I'm
for
gonna
it?
go
Uh-oh.
for
We'll
My least favorite guest is when we have no guest at all.
Oh,
And that
when they
happens
don't show
sometimes.
up.
Yes.
that is
exactly,
horrible. That is
exactly.
horrible when they don't show up.
Then you have to bicker back and forth, and Rob and I are very good at that. So there's a lot of bicker and banter, but
People actually do they at least let you know, or do they just don't show up?
I've had the best of both worlds. I've had
Oh,
where they've
yeah.
let me know, 3 minutes before,
That's sad.
or not at all.
Yeah, we were talking about that tonight because we know we've been lucky so far. Everybody showed up, and I say, okay, I'm going to have a set show that I could talk for an hour, just talk to the camera about something for an hour. So I'm going to have a little outline, and I'll be ready in case somebody doesn't show up. Another question I have for you is this isn't on the list, but you both have interviewed so many people in the paranormal. Just about everybody. Is there someone that you can't get an interview with, or like a bucket list? And I'm talking just paranormal people, obviously. Is there any? There's nobody that's like refused
You go.
to.
I need to process.
Okay.
I need to come up with my
Well,
answer.
there's probably a couple out there. I haven't been able to. I tell you who I've been trying to get a hold of is Jack Osborne.
Oh, okay.
And every
be
once
cool.
in a while, I'll send him send something on his Facebook, because I only know him by social media, so I send him something on Facebook, but he never responds. I'm like, hopefully one day he'll just get tired of me sending it and be like, okay.
I'll fight
That would
ya.
be cool.
I want him.
Is that who you want to?
I think I love Ozzy, so of course I want
Oh, yeah.
to, interview Jack. But, I think there's been some that I've tried to reach out to, and, unlike Jen, where she just keeps trying, sometimes I just give up,
Yeah.
so.
Well, I can't wait. Hopefully you'll get that interview. That'd be really cool.
I hope so. I would think he'd
Hey,
be cool.
Jack.
If you're watching, make sure you call me. I'm on Facebook.
Let me just say that I had a radio show for a short time called Paranation, and my next question is, have you ever gotten any actual paranormal activity during a show? I was shocked that on one or two of our shows we got some stuff. The people we were interviewing swore that they weren't talking, or the knocks and the moans, and they actually lived in a haunted house, so this stuff was going on, but of course you're skeptical. But have either of you had that happen, and is it more frequent? It seems like it's not as rare as I thought it was, that it happens.
Go ahead. Oh,
Okay.
you want?
Yeah, I have,
Okay.
actually. And in fact, I think the most recent would have been, we had Channeling Eric. We had his mom and medium who channels him on, and we received we went over an hour. It was one of the naughty shows where we went over, and we got to pre-record, so we got to.
It's worth it, though, if
It
you get
was
that kind of
totally
stuff.
worth
Just
it.
keep
It was
running.
Absolutely awesome. And we didn't know we had it until we reviewed, and it was funny because the medium Kim had said, make sure you review this, because he said that he was gonna make his presence known even more so than just through me. So we right after, of course it's like a challenge. Let's check this out, right? And of course we did, and it was awesome. So immediately we had to cut it and send it right to the mom, 'cause, and to the medium as well, to share that with them, because we were so excited. I knew they would be too, and we left that to them if they wanted to share that with the masses. It was up to them, but you know, we were very proud.
And that was recent. That was really
That
recent.
was rather recent, yeah.
Wow. Is that the same story? Or did you have another?
No, mine
incident?
was my very first show. And I still to this day swear that it wasn't technical difficulties, it was paranormal. Was actually Bruce was my very first show interview. And I was all set up an hour beforehand because I wanted to make sure I had everything right. 3 minutes before I'm supposed to go on air, my computer crashes.
Oh no.
So I'm calling Nikki here on the phone, going, "You got to
show.
you got to get on, you got to get on the studio so that I can call." And then she got on the studio, took the studio. I called in, and then he called in. So I'm interviewing him via the studio, but I'm not running the studio at the time. No lie, 2 minutes after the show stopped, the computer came back on.
So you
And I tried to restart it the whole time, thinking
They
that it
didn't
would,
want you
but
to
it wouldn't
interview
do.
him.
No, it was weird, and I was like, "Oh my God!" I was like, "That's crazy."
and the first show too.
The
like,
very first show.
It's like that's it, never again.
And I just come from Gettysburg the day before, so I was like, I think something followed me back because it was just crazy.
Probably so. So that was a funny story. But do you have any other things that have happened? Being, like I said, I wasn't a host on the show, but I was producer, so I was sitting behind the scenes. So I really didn't have to handle too much, but just sit there. Anything funny happened during a show that you just?
Of course.
I mean, last week I was, as I was saying, as I wrote here, I was in the bathroom when the show started, and I was running up. I got in as the promo was running. So.
Oh, of course. We actually, whenever it seems, more so than not necessarily radio, although we have our issues sometimes, whenever we're doing a live stream for LPTV on location, it does not matter. We will always have something go wrong.
Every show, just about.
Pretty much, yeah, without fail. You can almost, you're just anticipating what's going to happen. And it's always something different. It's not like the same thing every
Might
time.
have the
That'd be
picture,
great.
but you don't have the audio, or you might have the audio, you don't have the picture.
And multiple computers, too. You could try from multiple computers and have the same issue, and it makes no sense because in another program, everything will work. It's not like we've never done this before. I could do this with my eyes closed, behind my back.
Right.
No, it's just, to me, it's unknown.
So you're ready for it. You're ready every week.
No,
Never ready for it.
Never ready for it. We know what's
There's
going to
always-
happen, but we never know what the fix is going to be or which one what it's going to pull.
We just got to the point where we just laugh about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't investigate it, what it was?
I would still be sitting there probably looking at the computer trying to figure that out because it's things that we were not able to we've tried to rule it out, being an update, things of that sort. And there have been times when it has been an update and we're like, oh, well, whoops. But other times it was not, we weren't able to explain it, so.
And because when we're doing our radio shows from home, I have to tell you, my home, my domain is a you do not talk to me, do not bother me zone. So that's why that was really weird. I don't do EVPs in my house. That's like when I sleep, I want to sleep. I don't want you waking me up. I don't want you bothering me. I don't want to make it inviting for them to come
Oh, yes.
and visit me. So I try not to do anything paranormal related other than the radio show inside my house. If I'm in the yard or whatever, that's fine. But
Okay. So now that you guys have been your interviewers and you're being interviewed, what do you prefer? Do you prefer to interview people or be interviewed?
I think it's kind of nice to be on the other side every once in a while.
It is nice.
Yeah?
Yeah.
See, I'm kind of like, I like the control of being able to ask, because I don't think well on my feet, so I have to have everything written out and planned, and I'm like, oh, I don't have an answer for that. I don't know how.
Well, the only problem there is that, we've planned radio shows, and we each have our own show, but we plan radio shows where I could have 50 questions, and you have a person that does yes or no answers, and
They're gone.
10 minutes into the show, you finished your 50 questions. You don't have any more questions to ask, so.
I was scared last week. I had about 24 questions, and they were answering, and I'm like, oh, and then I ended up being done about 3 minutes before, and then luckily Mike's sitting in there manually waiting on the show to end. We don't have a set time, so we're still feeling the waters on that. But so I think that we're going to move into asking some questions about you two being paranormal investigators now. So, Kat, did you have any questions from that first segment? Any other questions?
at the moment.
No? Okay. So you both are not only radio show hosts, but you're also paranormal investigators. Do you mind being called a ghost hunter? Or does that really perturb you? I kind of say it just because I'm lazy, you know, ghost hunter.
I'm going
paranormal
to tell you the only thing, just don't call us an experts. That's
Thank you.
my big
That's-
thing.
yeah.
I don't care what you call me other than that.
My
I've been called
soapbox
worse.
is really high when I get called something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Don't call me that. There's no
yeah.
such thing.
There's a couple people that I would put way up there on a pedestal, and I'm sure you agree with me on those couple
Well, you
people.
can have experience. You can have 30 years experience.
Yeah.
Seasoned, as I like to
Seasoned,
call them.
okay.
Seasoned, yeah.
Yeah, I know some people really. It's easier to say ghost hunter than paranormal investigator, less syllables, you know. And some people really do get offended. I mean, I understand the difference, and we want to seem more professional and so on. So let's see. So how did you guys get into being investigators, paranormal investigators?
Well,
This is one of your questions. So
yeah.
you should.
I guess it was like 5 years ago. I went to an event that I was telling you about earlier, where I met several people off of ghost hunters, and of course, I always believed that things had happened. I lived in a haunted house, but you know, you couldn't talk about these things because when you talked about them, people were like, "Yeah, okay, you're a weirdo." And so it kind of broke the ice when I went to this event, because I was like, wow, there's really people that do this and they come out of their shell and they're not afraid to say it. So after that event, I actually went and, you know, I looked around for several people that had teams that would take me on, and I couldn't find anybody very easily. And then I had some guy out of Gettysburg contact me, thanks Stuart, and took me under his wing and taught me all how to use the equipment, you know, how to do a proper investigation. And so that's how I got into paranormal investigating, and it's just enticed me to go further and further.
Oh, so it was about 5 years ago?
About 5 years ago.
Same here. I'm coming up. Well, I had my first paranormal experience when I was like 8 years old. And then when I got cancer in 2004, I started pretty much watching and not doing, but just thinking about maybe I'm going to die and kind of thinking about that. But I started my business, Evermore Paranormal, May 11th, 2011. So I'm coming up on 5 years. But I've just thrown myself into it like you. I live and breathe it, you know,
Yeah,
as
and
much as I can.
And I lived in a haunted house, but it wasn't like, you know, I guess everybody's like a haunted house. It's like, it wasn't anything that was terrible that happened. It was, to me, it was interesting because I was like, who's doing that, you know? So, but then you don't want to like talk to anybody. And it was funny because because it was a rental. And so the day that I was handing the keys over, the landlord goes, I wanted to know how you fared with the ghosts in the house. And he'd never told me once. And I was like,
Didn't tell you.
so thanks for telling me. And he goes, well, I didn't want to scare you off. And I was like, well, I wasn't scared. I was like, I just thought maybe I was the only one that was like getting this stuff.
It's
But
validation when
Yeah.
they say. So how long did you live in that?
5 years.
You lived 5 years there. Oh my goodness. And when you're leaving, they tell you, hey. How about you? How did you get into investigating?
I actually lived in a house that was very active as a child. I had some crazy experiences there. And from there, I, you know, kind of became interested more so in boys and things like that. And then, you know, still kind of wanting to learn, you know, trying to figure things out. Felt like I was Rob in that circumstance, you know, where you're getting these books and the scenarios don't always play out to what you're experiencing, so you want to answer those questions. So then I, you know, I waxed and waned with you know, I'm going to do this. Then my son's father actually passed away in a car accident, which then sent me 100%, I want to know how things work. Like, it really reignited that. And ever since,
When was that?
that was in 2000. So, yep.
I'm sorry to hear that, but
it's-
you know, you take with that
Right.
tragedy, you know, look where you're going with the paranormal. That's the same with me and my mom, and you know, my mom went in a coma and passed away, and now I'm just like even more so into
Right.
it.
Exactly. It's my, you know, I guess if you will, my motivation, because every day I have more and more and more questions. I don't have any answers yet. I have no answers, just more questions. So I don't think I'll ever get bored in that respect. Keep me entertained.
Do I dare? I mean, you don't need to answer this, but have you ever been able to communicate with him?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm so, you know, I'm possibly, but I need, I need more to be able to say yes,
Well, my mom and
I
I
want
had a
to.
pact because we knew she was getting sick. I didn't know she was going to die as soon, and we had a pact. And so, yeah, she's been communicating with me, and she leaves dimes for me. And there's a whole, I'm writing a book about it, so you'll hear all the story. But, yeah, she leaves dimes, and it's a whole nother show. I don't want to get into it because it'd take too long. I never found a dime, though, prior to just before she died, and that's why we talked about her leaving me dimes. And she's left almost 60 dimes in the last 3 years. I never found a dime my whole life. So we need to. So that was. So I didn't want to, get you too sentimental about that. But yeah, I think it drives us. I think
Totally.
losing someone. I mean, I lost my mom, my dad, my dogs, and everybody. I've lost my whole family in the last few years. I'm like, thank goodness I believe that it's not the end. I am convinced. My husband, on the other hand, over here, he's a skeptic. But let me jump over to him for a sec. Anything happening?
No, it's pretty quiet.
Oh, we're going to have to do something about
Yeah.
that. So, what has been your most interesting place that you've investigated?
Well, she's gone more places than I have, so.
I have to pick one. That's like making me pick my favorite, show guest. Oh, gosh.
Well, I just saw that they were closing something about the Stanley Hotel.
And that was on my bucket list, so I guess that's off my bucket list. But I kind of have a hunch, and this is
It's not
my
gonna-
true feeling, is that that's going to change again in a couple years, because I think that most people go to the Stanley because it is haunted.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to lose business, so.
Well, I'm surprised because Amy Bruni's been going there and just her Strange Escapes events and other people constantly going there. Yeah, so they want to get away from that. And I read the article. It's kind of wishy-washy. It's like they say they're not going to do any more paranormal events, but we're going to do this but. So it's all conditional. I think, like you said, I think it might last a couple years and then they'll be back when people stop going.
I think they have to.
Have you been? You haven't been there?
No, that
Me
was on my
neither.
bucket list to go.
No.
Our friend Scott just came back from
We
there.
live
He was on the last
vicariously
one.
through him. He actually was at the Nick Ruff event there, and he actually streamed. And that was really cool. So we kind of got to live vicariously through him and kind of virtually. I actually haven't got to catch the stream because we were away, but I did get to do a few sessions with him in the room, and it was, it
Oh, cool.
wasn't the same as being there by
Yeah.
any means,
Scott.
Thanks,
But Scott
Scott.
Latia.
Oh, hi, Scott. I was on which Scott? So, do you guys ever get scared? Do you ever get scared?
She
No.
doesn't.
No.
There are times
at
where
all.
I would say scared as in the point of being startled. Like,
Oh yeah, of course. I get startled too.
and I've gone through places where I'm investigating and I might walk through a hallway and get the heebie-jeebies. It's maybe not, I mean, it's kind of like being scared, but it's not. You're kind of like just aware that something is not right. And I kind of get that, like, the goosebumps. And it's funny because the last place I was at, which is also one of my favorite places, was, not the last place, but Ohio State Reformatory, Mansfield.
So that was the scariest
That's what they were
part-
talking about
place
last
you
week on the
did?
show too.
That was when I went. I was in the basement. We took a group down in the basement to investigate. But this one hallway, every time it gave me the creeps every time I went through it. And I did not know until the end of the night when the girls that actually give the tours down there said that they'd been pushed in that hallway and that any kind of activity that had not been nice was in that hallway. But I didn't know that at the time. But that was the same hallway. I just would get the creeps in.
Well, Kat, I've had to drag her into this. She had some scary experiences, and she only comes because to my events. She's been to every one of my events. She's my sidekick, but she was.
I was strangled. I was being strangled trying to sleep. Oh, well, I had a fight with my former husband at the time. So I slept in a separate room and trying to sleep, being all upset and everything. It was kind of hard. And I felt these hands around my neck choking me, and I couldn't breathe.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I'm going, it's not my former husband. Nothing's in front of me. And they say if you know the Bible a little bit, to call it God's name. And that's what I did, and it disappeared. Because I found out that the house we lived in, the guy killed himself in the basement.
Now, was that where the room was? Is it in the basement or no?
No, this was upstairs. Yeah.
But I had to drag Kat into, this is how much she loves me. I've had to drag her to this. And so I'm like, Kat, I'll never let anything happen to you. You know, they can take me before, because she comes with me and she's always helping me at everything. But I think she's kind of warming up to the field.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
We'll see when we're gonna do a Ouija board show soon. I don't know if she'll touch the Ouija board or not. I don't think
Not
so.
yet.
Actually, being scared, I just say that, I've been working on a book, so all these stories now are up here, ready to come out. But I have had like 4 experiences where I literally said, I really thought about continuing on, because I got too close to find, like, I feel like I was right there where I have the key to open the door. And like I said, when I was 8, I almost drowned. And I saw the devil when I almost drowned. And that was the beginning. I turned like 40 years old that day because that's how I think since I was a kid. So yeah, I've been scared 4 times, really, really bad.
It's funny you say that, because I haven't, like, I don't have any issues when I've been investigating other than the heebie-jeebies, but I have dreams sometimes where I'm fighting the devil or I'm fighting demons. And those are, now I wake up in a sweat. And so.
Yeah. And I do believe that dreams are, well, at least my mom, she visits me, and I have a lot of dreams. I do analyze them, try to figure out what they mean. So yeah, that would scare me. I mean, I have seen the devil a few times, and prior to being in the paranormal. So let's see, we'll move on to another question. Is there anyone that has encouraged you in your endeavors with regards to investigating? Do you have mentors, I guess, or?
Just Stuart, the guy who took me on, I mean, he encourages me. I do have to say my family, they don't encourage me. They are like, yeah, okay, there's the weirdo of the family, but
Oh, we're all the weirdos of the family, I
But-
think, right?
Definitely.
but in my
I'd
rounds
rather
of
be
meeting people,
interesting than boring.
That's right. In my rounds of meeting people, I think one of the people that I talk to that encouraged me is John Tenney. I know you know John Tenney, so he was kind of like another person that I would talk to. He'd do like question and answer sessions, and he'd get on Skype, or it's one of the other ones where you could go on your
Google
computer,
something.
yeah, and
Hangouts.
you could hang out. Yeah, you could hang out with him. So, he's always been encouraging, and
Yeah, he seems to be a mentor to a lot of people.
he's
Like,
very
he's
smart. He's very
smart. Yeah, and very open-minded and about things. I watched the show when he was on Ghost Stalkers. I love that show. I wanted it to come back.
I know.
I wanted
Didn't
to
you
be
just
on it.
interview the guy last
Yes,
Chad?
Chad, yes.
I liked him.
I did
a
too.
lot.
Well, if you're on Periscope, he is always on Periscope.
Always.
Always.
Yeah, really?
I'm talking 5-6 times
Yeah.
a day.
At
You think the
least.
show's going to come back, maybe? The Ghost Stalker?
I
No?
don't know. I don't.
I'd like
I don't
it
think
to.
so. I would like it to. I'd love it to, because they went to my former place of employment. They went to
Oh, they did?
Springfield Hospital Center. I worked there. I actually was in those buildings alone. I wondered why they wouldn't go in with me. They'd go, oh, go in there, and then you'll go down the hallway to the left. And I was like, okay. And I kind of thought it was weird. Why are they not coming in with me? But whatever, state employees, whatevs. So I went in, and I would be in there going through old records, and actually I would hear things, and I'm just like, okay, hey, what's up, everybody? And then to see it on TV, it was like, wait, and to see the things that happened, I was like, oh, I want to go back. I want to go back to my old work. What's up with that?
So one more question, and then we'll move. Then I want to talk about a couple of your projects. I really want to hear about those couple projects you've done recently. So I wanted to ask, what is the best and worst part of being in the paranormal field?
The best part is meeting other people that really do have a lot of experience and can teach you and can keep you grounded as far as keeping your mind open and not saying, oh, well, I believe in ghosts, but I don't believe in aliens. Alien is not my big thing, but it's true. If I believe that there's ghosts or spirits, then how can I say somebody's wrong about believing there's aliens? I don't know. These are all
Same
unknown
with the God
things.
question. They think, if you believe in ghosts, you're you know, then you don't believe in God. Same thing. I'm like, why is there a difference? So it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I haven't seen an alien, so I still am skeptical
I haven't even
about
seen
aliens.
a UFO, so.
No.
But I'm not going to say. I mean, I'm one of those people who believe there's a Bigfoot out there somewhere. I hope he's smart enough for us never to catch him.
I've been in Scotland, and I stood there at Loch Ness and watched for Loch Ness for hours with Jim and I, and just standing there going, oh, it's going to show up that day. You know, I'm going to get a picture. And
You could just
nothing.
go up to Lake Champlain in Vermont, right? And that's
Oh, yeah, there's
they
something
have
up there, too.
yeah, they have supposed to have another one in there, Champy or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Champy. My
And then-
buddy Champy.
And then the worst thing
Uh-huh.
is just, you know, at the same point of everybody, you know, people teaching you, there's also, we're all in a group, we're all trying to get answers, we're all trying to do different things, you know, think outside the box, and there's so much jealousy among paranormal investigators, paranormal groups, and I just don't get it. I don't get it. We're all looking for the same thing. Why be jealous? It's awesome. I think if you find good evidence, great. I'm happy for you. I want to know how you did that because I want to go use that technique.
Yeah, definitely. How about
I'd have
you?
to agree. I think
Same thing.
it's the same thing. It's the people can be the best thing in the field. You know, always if we can help people. I don't know if we really can truly help people, but the people within the field who are doing the same thing we are could definitely be one of the, you know, the better things for me is getting that experience and learning from everyone. In the same regard, there are also the worst part of the field. Some of the, not those people, but some other people, you know, have just, they don't want to work together. And we're never going to get anywhere if we don't.
Exactly.
And it's, you know, it's that double-edged sword, the people, you know, but it's truthfully, to me at least.
Well, I think that we're going to come back to the couple cases that you're working on because we're kind of running a little behind. I would like to talk about the pilot that you guys are working on and the video that you sent.
Yes.
Do you want us to roll the video first or after we talk? Probably before.
Yeah, before, why not?
So let's see if Mike can roll the video that you sent, the promo.
Can you touch this gray box and make that light go off?
Right there. I know you're coming closer because the lights are flickering.
If you can touch the gray box that's right next to it, that lights will go off again and it won't hurt you. It's just going to help us verify.
It doesn't, it says doesn't sound.
That's it. Go ahead, touch it.
Are you touching that?
Does it normally make that little bit of a sound? No.
Unless something's touching the antenna.
Keep trying.
Can you touch it just a little bit harder?
You can get energy from that EM pump there with a red light flashing.
So that was cool. I watched it before I came. I couldn't hear it here, but so what is that all about? Is this the for the pilot that you guys are working on?
I believe that might be the one for the pilot. I'm not sure. I don't know yet. I don't think we're going to know until...
yeah, we won't know because I think he's added, like originally there wasn't that whole, the REM pod part wasn't on there, or the K2 meter part wasn't on there. So he's added to that. So I'm going to assume that as we are doing more investigations, it's probably going to add more information onto that as for our pilot program.
And I know you haven't really set a title yet for this. Temporary, pending. I know you got to keep everything close to your chest too. I mean,
We're still trying
if anybody
to, like,
hears your title and they like it, it's taken. So
we're still brainstorming on that.
Yeah, we're, you know, it's constant brainstorming, you know, and as a matter of fact, we'll probably, you know, have quite a few different things we'll come up with, and we won't know until it's all said and done what the decision is, and then we'll look at each other and go, I didn't like that one. But, you know,
It's pretty cool. I liked it. Who's filming that? Is Rob filming that, or?
I think we're all
who-
kind of like, and
taking
I know
turns?
I wasn't that time because I was in the picture, but
I have about, I don't even know. I can't count the number of cameras.
It's just the three of you, though?
So-
Or do you have other people with you?
I think on that clip there might have been, there were two guys that had joined us
Yes.
from a paranormal group out of Erie. And so he might have, I don't know, did he get that? He might have gotten that footage from his camera, but I think the other guy might have been shooting it for us.
I have no idea.
Yeah, there's so many different clips from different places.
Yes, exactly.
So you also, I've seen you doing a couple episodes of Dead Explorer.
Yes.
What is that all about?
That is Alejandro Dominguez, Dead Explorer, and he's such an awesome guy. I've known him for years. I absolutely adore Alejandro, and getting a chance to work with him was an amazing, amazing opportunity. And he's
she
just,
might have met him at WouijaCon.
yeah, he was at WouijaCon.
Who was, I mean, no, I don't know.
He
Where
was with a
that?
group.
He was with Summer?
He was with the blonde-haired girl, and then it was him. He's really tall and thin, and then he had a shorter guy with him, and they were doing
okay.
a lot of filming there.
Oh, yeah, and is he psychic? Is he the psychic one? No.
No.
Okay, I don't remember then which
I'll
one
show
it was.
you. I'll show you.
Okay.
You'll remember if I show you.
So is this this Dead Explorer? Is it a web series? What is it?
It is a web series. He has a website, deadexplorer.com, as well as some of the footage will air on his YouTube channel, as well as Live Paranormal's YouTube channel. We're working with him, and it's endless. Who knows what's coming next? Because you know we just go where we're told.
Yeah, well.
And he's from another state, so
yeah,
it's,
he's
you know,
from
has to travel.
Texas, so you know we have to coordinate travel and things of that sort. You know, we're all over the place. All of us are coming from different directions to meet in order to do all this. And
I'm glad you like to drive. I don't like to drive
anymore.
or fly.
I love to drive, but not after I got a ticket on one of my paranormal adventures.
Kat and I we were extras in a movie this summer, and we go, and you know, we're not getting paid. We just got lunch. You know, that's our how we get paid. I go get my car. I got a ticket. Now I go and do this for free, and I have to pay. I think it was a $50 ticket.
You weren't even in the car.
I know. I was just.
It was a parking ticket?
Yeah, a parking ticket. But it's just like, here you go do something for free, volunteer, whatever, and then you end up having to spend money. So the food was good though, right, Kat? We
Yes,
had
it
fun. It was it's about Manson, the Manson girls.
The Manson girls, yeah.
That's what
Oh,
we were
wow.
just dressed like the 70s, and we actually got in a lot. It hasn't come out yet, but we were sitting at a table just pretending like we were talking through the whole thing. We got in a whole bunch of scenes. If it ever comes out, we'll be sitting there chatting.
You have to let us
Nice.
know.
Yeah,
I
let
wanna
us
see.
know.
It was so funny to just sit there. We just happened to pick the right spot to be the extras.
And they had a lot of nice vintage cars.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she loved the cars. This other project, The Search Existence Unknown, what is that about? Is that also a web series? Is it?
You want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay.
You go ahead.
It is actually a series that is featured on Roku. We just got back from filming with them, and we actually had worked with them previously at a charity event at Mansfield, or Ohio State Reformatory. It's got so many names. So we had a chance to work with them there. That's where we met them and kind of originated the idea to try to, you know, do something together in the future, which we just got back from. And we had
You
such
just
a
got
great
back,
time.
like yesterday? Is that when you guys were driving back?
That was this past
It's
weekend,
every
yeah.
weekend
Oh,
we're
yeah.
It's
driving
almost
back.
every other weekend. It's like,
Yeah.
Well,
every time I turn around, we're driving.
if I wasn't afraid, I'm not good on. I don't like driving. I don't like riding either, and I don't like flying. I don't mind when I'm flying, but taking off and landing. So it's always a debate as to what I'm gonna do. I really don't like. I just get car sick anymore.
Not me. I
So-
just sleep when Jen drives.
I try to drive the most of the way.
and
drive.
it's safer that way because then I don't, because I like to go fast.
Uh-oh, no. I'm speed limit or barely speed limit. Well, it looks like we have a few minutes to talk about the two projects, Demon House and the Horsefly Chronicles. Both those titles are really, I got to hear about this. Tell me a little about each of those.
Okay,
Are you
well-
involved in either of those at all?
On the Demon House, which was named not by
We
anybody.
didn't call
Right.
it the Demon House.
It was
you know,
pre-named
so-
that. I did some, like, I would review evidence and things like that. So there was a piece where originally it was funny because I'd never reviewed anything. She's like, Jen, I want you to check this out, right? So she's like sending me this thing and I'm going, wow, that's really good. You see that woman? She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, the woman, you sent me a picture of a woman in the house. And she's like, no, I didn't.
I kept going, hit play. You didn't hit play. There's no way that you hit play, okay? Like, you have to watch it. It's almost 10 minutes long. There's no way it's been like a second, you know, like, what is going on? And she's like, I already see it. And I'm like, you can't. It's 10 minutes long. You know, we're going back and forth, and it's like literally like, no, yes, no. Well, lo and behold, the image that Google Drive, because we had used a Google Drive to try to share, had actually
Caught the image of a
caught
woman
the image.
in the man's bedroom.
Wow.
But I give the credit to
Awesome.
Jen
Is that
because
on,
I didn't see it.
Is that on YouTube or anything right now? I can look at it. That'd be really cool.
Actually, yes, it is.
It is?
Yes, it's not on my YouTube, but
It's
Probably
I
on
can-
the. It's probably on Keith's. Right?
Keith L. Yes, Keith L. on YouTube.
Yeah, I'll get that from you.
Yeah.
Is this is the case? I think I saw the original case on Ghost Adventures,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I think I went. Is that where they had the burning Bible and
Yes.
the Bible kept catching on fire, and there were hieroglyphics or something up in the study, like on the wall, or maybe
There
am I mixing up a
no,
couple
you're,
cases?
you're dead on.
And I watched that, and so you went out there. You actually tell me about getting involved in that case.
A friend of mine who would like to remain anonymous reached out to him because she felt that he wasn't being treated fairly. You know, for Ghost Adventures to go out and actually go to a residential case, that's the only time I know of personally that has ever occurred. So it was kind of weird. On top of it, you know, the fact that the end of the episode really says it all. And, you know, people can go back and check that out. But they basically insinuated that there was nothing happening there and that perhaps they had their own demons to deal with.
Was Dave Schrader on that too?
Yes, he was.
Then that is the case that I'm
Yep.
thinking of.
Yep, and I actually had not seen the episode. I have no idea because I really don't watch TV. Occasionally I'll watch something, but it's usually way after the fact.
Yeah.
So I had no idea who this guy was. My friend's like, I want you to talk to him. I'm like, okay, you know, sure, I'll talk to the guy, whatever. Talk to him, and then, you know, I said, okay, well, let me see what this is. Let me see this episode. I watched it, and I went, what? You know, some of the things that were happening there, well, I mean, the writings on the wall, the burnt Bibles, the things flying, I'm like, wow, okay. You know, and who am I to ever tell someone that something couldn't happen? I can't. I thought it was, you know, pretty interesting. The guy, Keith, he's a great friend now, you know, he got to know him. He wasn't even comfortable talking about the case in the house. So getting him comfortable enough to talk, and then eventually, since I'm East Coast, he's West Coast, getting him comfortable enough to put cameras up and allowing, because that's the only way I could figure out a way to see what was try to see what was going on without being able to jump in the car and drive. Washington is a little bit further than Washington, D.C.
Yes, definitely.
So, yeah, but watched it all day, night, basically 24/7 for months, and then decided to go out there and got a chance to do that. And I have to say, I do not agree with Ghost Adventures' statement.
That's good. I mean, you put a lot more time and effort into it than they did, I'm sure. So you had more to look at. And, you know, I don't really watch Ghost Adventures that often, truthfully.
Yeah,
If it's the one, I usually try to watch something else. I mean, I you know, I watch a lot of the ghost shows, the ghost paranormal shows. How about the Horsefly Chronicles? Just the title alone makes me wonder, what the heck is that all about?
I said the same thing, actually. I had been contacted a few years ago to get involved. At the time, I did not. And then recently, I actually just got involved in the case. Actually went and lived in the case just as I had done in Seattle for the Demons in Seattle case. And I have to say, both cases were just absolutely fascinating. Really feel that when you are spending the time in the space, you are becoming, I don't know, more familiar, and they're becoming more familiar with you. And I think maybe that opens up the lines of communication. Awesome, you know, EVPs, awesome visual evidence. It's
What
just
is there something to do with horseflies, or is that just a? Are we?
Well, I actually had my own experience before I got there. You know, you may be visited, okay? I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
All right, sure. Well, I was actually at a store with my youngest son. We're walking through, and a horsefly comes out of nowhere and starts circling my kid. I'm not really paying attention. I'm
And it's
shopping.
still cold outside.
Yeah,
by
it's
the
still
way.
cold, right? And he's like flailing his arms, and I'm going, what are you doing? And then I saw it. And then I might have said some things that weren't very nice, some obscenities, and told it to go away. And then I went, oh, you know, it took a second to I literally stood there, and it literally, if somebody had a camera on my face, they would have been like, what is happening there? Because it sunk in. They're horsefly. Why? This store, winter. I'm like, you know, what is happening? There's been a few other people who have recently just become somewhat involved in a case who actually had the same thing occur.
So there's a link, there's a connection.
Yeah. So as for if it's been all the time from the beginning, I don't know. I'd be lying if I said I did.
Well, it's
And I'm not gonna
it's
lie.
definitely a catchy title. It makes you
is.
want to know.
Definitely.
And it does, you know, I always look for those little signs and subtle things that, and then way past, I'll link it. And,
Right.
oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and just
I'm
not a
still learning.
regular fly. It was actual horse
It was
fly.
a big old horsefly,
wow.
you know, and my kid's batting at it like it's, you know, like a bird. You know, and
Well-
he's, you know, swinging, and I couldn't explain.
Well,
Yeah.
now I know. It's cool, though.
Look for the flies.
The
Yeah.
horsefly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now if I go and there's a horsefly flying around, you sent it.
No, I didn't. Not me.
Watch for horseflies.
Not me.
So we just have a couple more minutes. I wanted to ask about live paranormal projects like the Paranormal Supercon that's coming up. I got a whole bunch of information from Rob. So do you want to talk about that? Tell me all the cool stuff that's going to happen in about.
Well, I think he's
have
going
about
to.
2 minutes.
I think he's going to drop paranormal off of it. It's going to be called the Supercon, and the only reason we're going to drop the paranormal off of it is because it's going to be part paranormal, and it's also going to be like part Comic-Con. So he's going to get some pop culture in there. So not only are we going to have paranormal people there, but we're going to have pop culture people there, wrestlers, and comic book men and stuff. I don't know if the comic book men, don't quote me because I don't know if they're coming, but people that are involved in the comics, cosplay stuff and things
I see
like
that.
so.
It says the Supercon. It didn't say That's what it used to be called, though, right? Paranormal Supercon.
Correct.
And
I
this is
still
about
call
the
it
third
that.
year, right? This will
I'll
be the
still
third
probably
one?
be saying that, but
Yeah.
Yes.
And I see that it's going to be October 28th through the 30th.
We're changing it up. It used to be during the summer. We're changing it up, and lots of changes because obviously it was
Yeah.
only paranormal pretty much before. So not only are we adding in those other elements, but now we're taking and bringing it to a different time of year and adding more time to it. So.
The first one, I think, was mostly just the people that have shows with Live Paranormal, right?
Yeah.
It just seemed
Pretty much.
Pretty
Pretty
much.
much.
And
And,
then
now
this-
it's just going to be broader and broader, bigger and bigger. And it's in Erie,
Pennsylvania, yes,
I'm
at the
gonna try to come to
Ambassador
that.
Center, and it's
Halloween, though.
I mean,
It's
maybe I'm a
Halloween
little biased.
weekend.
I'm a little
Halloween
partial.
weekend, but enough for us because I have to be back for Halloween and she has to be back for Halloween. So we were like, you got to have it over
Do it
by
and
the 30th so
gotta
we can be back.
We have to be
Yes.
able to fly back home. We
Yeah.
have to get on our brooms and go back home.
Well, we've about run out of time, and I thank you guys for coming. We're going to check over with the Ghost Bro, and I have a feeling nothing happened. But sooner or later, we're hoping the ghosts start walking by.
Yeah, come on out.
And
Come
we're
on,
going
guys.
to try to do some stuff to more, and just things off camera to maybe invite them to come. So that
Some
they're
EVP
ready.
sessions and stuff.
Yes, and
Well, that's where it's going to happen.
some
off
stuff.
camera,
Something happened last
unfortunately.
week, actually, but they don't want us to. We're saving it to tell you.
Very
I mean,
cool.
there was a woman that was laughing and locked somebody in, but some stuff was really cool stuff was happening. But we're gonna have to check over here with Jim and Jim. Anything?
No, afraid
No.
not. It's another quiet night.
Another quiet night.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Thank you. So thank you guys for coming. I'm gonna make some announcements now, and if you guys ever want to, I keep saying guys, I'm sorry. If you ever want to come back, drive from Baltimore area to come back. I'm sure there's more stuff to talk about.
Always.
Great,
Thank
thanks.
you guys
Thank
for
you
having
so
us.
much. Thanks.
Did you have a question or anything, Kat, before we wrap up with announcements?
Well, I was curious, what was the scariest place you guys investigated? that really, really.
They don't get scared though, I thought.
I get the heebie-jeebies, but I don't think I've ever been where I've like really thought that I was scared. Like, I've never had anything scratch me, push me. I think the worst I've had is something tug on my hair or like brush by, but never. I can tell you that an unexpected moment that I had was when I was at Saks Covered Bridge in Gettysburg, and I was walking across the bridge, and something actually came towards me, and it was a figure, but it was more like a pixelated figure, so I couldn't make out features, but it was actually coming towards me, and I started backing up because I wasn't expecting it. And the team was behind me, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And the guy on the other side of this figure ran towards me because I just saw that. So he kind of confirmed that I was not alone, that I wasn't the only person that saw that.
The story you're telling just right now, the people last week had the same thing happen to them. Real Life Paranormal Group. You'll have to talk to them.
Okay.
They had the same thing happen on Saks Bridge. Remember they showed us some pictures. So I hope you guys had fun, and we'll come back. And I hope I see you at some of these events that I'm getting ready to talk about.
Yeah, we'll definitely
Please
come see you. Yeah.
Please
will
come.
do.
We'll have fun. We can have some real fun.
Awesome.
So basically, I'm going to read off a few announcements. We are going to be at 3 upcoming events. The Gettysburg Paracon, which is April 14th through the 16th. I don't know, but I think tickets and vendor tables may still be available. We only have 19 days and counting. I'm excited. I haven't been to Gettysburg in almost a year, I think, right?
Yeah.
We were just talking about that. We're also going to Pennhurst Paracon 2, which is June 4th and 5th. It's sold out. If you don't have a ticket, you can't get in. You can't even be a vendor, but we will be there. So if you've already got a ticket, we'll see you there. We're also going to go to the Gettysburg Paranormal Gathering. That's July 30th. It's just a day thing, and I don't think it costs anything to get in. It's really laid back, and you can investigate. I think it's the David Stewart Farm. So, let's see. We were talking last week. This is our 4th episode, and we only plan to do 6 episodes, but we're talking about doing another. It's not going to be another season, because technically that wouldn't be till next year. So, we're talking about adding 6 more episodes, and possibly we're going to go to the Gettysburg Paracon, be off that week, and then the following week we'll probably start back up, but we don't know for sure yet. But we definitely are going to continue to do these shows. And next week's guests are Wendy Shugal. She owns the Haunted Dream Meadows. It's a farm in Virginia that she bought, and it's got about 28 acres, 4 buildings, and she didn't know it was haunted, but it's haunted. And we've been there a couple times. We were there on Halloween and prior to that. And Sylvia's going to come too. She actually had a really terrifying experience the first time we went there. Sylvia Vukovics. She's also a team member. So anyway, tomorrow's Easter. So as you can see, I always put something out and I forget to talk about it. So happy Easter to everyone tomorrow, whoever celebrates that. And so this has been the Evermore Paranormal Show. Peace out.